Hey everybody, it's an MLB algorithm video. We're going to talk a little bit about baseball here today on Wednesday, June 14th. And I got a question about how to use the macro and kind of the finer details of what's going on here if you want to work with this file. And it's a really complicated, long-winded answer, but we're kind of going to go through some of the basics because as much I don't spend enough time with the sports algorithms because the more I spend with them, the more I resent doing it too much because it doesn't work all the time, but it is helpful, put it that way. It's definitely helpful. And it will when, just getting a look at the entire team information and the pitching matchup and everything and laying it out there and doing some automatic calculations on it does help. It doesn't generally run into craziness where it's all out of whack. It's usually pretty good, but doesn't win all the time. It's kind of the way sports betting is, unfortunately. But what I want to talk about in this video is, how to at least get the best representation possible and to have it give you answers to questions like, what's the number one pick of the day? It's saying Tampa Bay over Oakland because it's been saying that all week and Oakland's been winning all week. It's one of those things where it's just like the odds makers, the algorithm, everybody's in agreement that Tampa Bay should crush these games. However, they lost the last two, I believe, to Oakland this week. And it's just one of those things where it's still sports, and I don't know what to tell you. I can never guarantee that you're going to win anything in sports, but in the long run, you can do better with using this. So I have a layout of the picks so far. We're picking up in the middle of the day. It's the 4:40 game is starting. 3 of the games are done, and they're all winning under this combination string of 187. So far you're winning. These odds, and these look very, very similar to the odds makers, almost in order. That's what you're seeing here. It's, saying Tampa Bay, Houston, Boston, Dodgers, Texas, Minnesota, Seattle, Cincinnati, Yankees. A lot of these are probably going to win. You never know which ones aren't. And this is kind of what it says if you want to grab a bunch of them. Now, on a great night, you'll lose like one of these up top in the top 10. You can go 9-1 on big picks, but you're more likely to probably go like 7-3, something like that. And it's, it doesn't win on a parlay, and a lot of these lines are not good. So the betting aspect of it is difficult, but this is the order that it's showing you. Now, we can have it answer more detailed questions by running a bunch of more scenarios of different strings of variables, basically. Up here, we're assigning weights or percentages to different categories, like innings pitched per game, the starting pitcher's whip, the ERA. Like what you're learning about this game here, this game that's starting right about as I'm doing this video, it's a second game of a doubleheader, and the pitcher for Atlanta has a really bad ERA and whip. And so when you look at this, it's giving the nod to Detroit as an underdog down here because of a lot of these factors. Even though it says Detroit doesn't generally hit very well and Atlanta does, it still thinks that Detroit can win this game. And so it's picking Detroit to win. Is that the best pick to make? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, if you look deeper into the stats, if you want to focus on an area that's abnormal on the sheet, it'll show up in very, very green or very, very red. So when you're seeing very, very red, that's bad. So that means one of the worst pitchers of the day, apparently starting wise, is Dylan Dodd. So do you want to pick Detroit to score runs? I mean, you can try to play on the other side of that, but Detroit doesn't hit very well. So maybe that doesn't work. It's kind of like when it comes to baseball, it's going to give you a lot of information, and it doesn't do great with runs all the time. I've never been able to get it the runs exact all the time. It does better with winners. So when you're looking at something like what the algorithm says, it says take Detroit at this underdog line, basically. Anyway, now let's back out and talk about some more formula, because that's really what I want this video to be about. So there's all these different combination strings located in the combo sheet. There's 499 different ones that are shown up here. At the end of the day, I run the macro and I see what the records were for all of these. That's what ends up showing in this T-cube pivot sheet, is which combination string and how many wins it had. And I see which combination strings did the best. And I sort it like this. I sort it descending by wins. Okay. And what that does is it puts the best combination strings up at the top over here. Now, I got asked, how do you add more combination strings? Like when you want to get rid of some. Like, let's say these ones all the way down here are bad. They have only resulted in 2 wins today. They're not really good. You want to get rid of them. Here's the way you do it. I have this round formula thing. This yellow area is a formula. You need to copy that over the corresponding ones that you want to replace. So let's replace these, like 6 of them or something. Paste, I copied it. Nope, sorry. Copy this down here, copy this. Just regular copy, Control C, and you paste it over an area like this. And what that does is it adds the random formula right here. And this part over here adjusts it to make it all add up to 100%, basically. And what that does now, you have to then also copy that and paste special as values, or the 1, 2, 3 paste, because random numbers change every time you click. See, it just changed again. It changes all the time. But that will create new combination strings at the bottom, is to just do that. So when you run the macro next time, you've got these brand new combination strings, and we'll see how these do. And if you keep eliminating some of the worst ones at the bottom every day with this formula, then you'll start to, just naturally create a better set of combination strings in total. There's only 499 of them because this took almost 10 minutes for my computer to run. This takes between 5 and 10 minutes to run the macro on the 499 combinations. You could add more by adjusting a little code in the macro and add it up to thousands if you want to. I don't see the benefit necessarily. 499 seemed to be good enough. You get an interesting, distribution. So now that we have added some new combination strings, for those who wanted to know how to do that with the random formula that's down here, we can look at the T-cube pivot sheet. And here's what I want to look at is you can try to isolate the team that it's like when it averages out all the different combinations, sometimes it'll look at the actual team that has the highest rating. Okay. Like I'll show you, it's going to be kind of weird with double headers because I wonder if the team name is going to show up twice. But we're going to grab team. We're going to put that up top for a second. And we're going to do game ID number next to the team. We'll grab game ID, which is all the way down here, and bring that right next to the team. Perfect. So we've got Detroit. Interesting. Okay. We're going to want to sort game ID value filters greater than, we want a margin that's greater than 0. This is going to give us all the teams that were favored. Perfect. All right. And then we're going to sort the teams descending by margin. And what this should show is yep, there it is. This should show the actual weighted average ranking of the teams in order. Okay. Believe that's working. So let me take this and let's compare it to what our current look is showing here in this day pivot sheet, for example. So this is the order we currently have on combination string 187. We're going to paste the teams that we just pasted from the weighted average, boom. And we're going to compare the two next to each other just to see how many are in the same order. So basically, the weighted average, which is right here, has Boston as the second pick of the day, even though they're the third pick of the day in the combination that we're looking at. It has Houston way down here, interesting, but they're number 2 on the combination string we're looking at. So basically, this is actually the order that I want to give you. Now, there are double headers in there, and I don't think that's screwing this up. I think it's doing it right. But keep that in mind. The doubleheader games are Detroit. This is just Detroit, Atlanta, right? So it has Detroit favored and whatever. Anyway, point is, this is an interesting way of doing the weighted average, like I just showed, is by messing around with this pivot table. And it'll be much easier to look at the end of the day because you'll be able to have the win-loss associated with this. And I'll run another video tomorrow showing the end of today, because that's how you kind of complete this video after the games are done and you've entered in all the scores here. But I just wanted to kind of do this video to explain that there's a lot going on in the background when it comes to different combinations you can work with. There's a lot of ways you can view the T-cube pivot sheet to give you interesting information. This average margin, for example, is important. it's saying that average margin wise, it's these teams. I should really be giving you these teams. It's Tampa Bay, Boston, the Dodgers, Texas, and Minnesota. Minnesota, I believe, already played today, and they might have lost. Minnesota played today and they won, actually. So that was the order. It's this order. Minnesota's already played. So if you're looking for a 4-team parlay to win, it's Tampa Bay, Boston, the Dodgers, and Texas is what the highest ranked average scores are, followed by Houston and Arizona, the Yankees, Cincinnati, and then the rest are pretty low. You can see how these games are real toss-ups, but San Francisco did win, and Detroit has this game that's starting right now. So I hope that was helpful in explaining those who are using the file. If you want to purchase a copy of this file, it's $69. You can start updating this every day with RotoWire, looking at the other how-to tutorial videos I've done. But there's a tremendous amount you can do with it and get some real intelligence about what a wide variety of statistics would lead to projecting. And for tonight, it's these four. It's these four. Yeah. All right. So good luck, everybody. May all your picks be winning, and may your tooling and fooling around with all these formulas and algorithms in Excel may it be beneficial, and you learn something. All right. Good luck.